Hi everyone, hi geniuses, and welcome to the latest edition of our Inside Story interviews. And today we're joined by the lovely, the amazing super connector herself, Kelli Richards. How are you doing today, Kelli?
Wonderful, EJ. Great to be here
Love,
with you.
lovely, lovely. It's amazing to have you here. So let's jump right into it, Kelli. Let's jump right into it. So my first question for you, Kelli, is you're described as possibly the world's best super connector. Do you mind explaining to our audience what exactly a super connector is for those of us who don't know?
Sure. It's curious that I would be described as the world's best. I guess I can't quite embrace that. I have been doing this kind of work for a long time, but there are others of us.
Okay.
And it's really just people that are good networkers, exceptional networkers
Yeah.
that build long-term relationships with others. And from there, usually find ways to connect the dots. I'm no more than 1 degree of separation from virtually anyone I would want to connect with or anyone else in my world would want to connect with.
Okay.
But that's taken decades to build.
Yeah.
And so a super connector is someone who has a fantastic network and has the ability to reach people, even if they don't have a relationship with them,
Definitely,
just by
definitely.
virtue of connecting the dots.
Okay, definitely, definitely. So you just excel in making networks, making partnerships grow.
That's
Like,
right. That's right. I
definitely.
like a spider. Picture
Nice.
me as a spider building a web and just all day
Web, yeah.
long
I like that
connecting
analogy.
dots.
I like
Yeah, yeah,
that.
yeah.
Perfect, perfect. Okay, lovely then. So second question is what drove your passion for wanting to become, a super connector, sorry, and bringing all these different people together and being a person who helps others fulfill their dreams? What drove that
Well,
passion?
they're two different questions, EJ. I didn't aspire to become a super connector.
Okay.
It's just who I am as a person. I just have the sensibilities, and it just became somebody called me that once, and it became that. I didn't know at the time that there were others, but
Okay.
I have met many others since, people that are just natural connectors.
Hmm.
And I think Malcolm Gladwell discussed this in, I think it's one of his books. I think it's the Tipping Point or something like that, where he describes people in different categories. One of his buckets is labeled connectors. And a super connector is someone who's just that much better at it and has that much broader of a network.
Yeah.
To answer your other question, becoming a person who helps others fulfill their dreams. Yeah, this started about 25 years ago when I happened to see Dr. Phil on the Oprah show. And he was a game changer for me to see how he was helping people pivot and shift and reframe their realities and help them get where they say they wanted to go. I hadn't realized I was doing that as well, but I hadn't known what it was called.
All
And
right.
so I got certified as a coach in addition to everything else I was doing in my career, being a talent producer and a forward-thinking tech visionary and all that, and super connector. So I added what I now call trusted advisor to my suite of services that I offer my clients. And basically, this is where I am working with primarily high achievers, usually, not always, in the music, tech, entertainment landscape as those are converging. Often tech innovators or established musicians and media execs, and basically helping them when they've come to a certain crossroads in their life and their career, when they're not fulfilled anymore, no matter how much money they have in the bank, they're ready to do something else that's more meaningful and more fulfilling.
Yeah.
And they often need help figuring that out and then navigating and charting a path to get where they say they want to go. We can get in our way with head trips and mindset constraints and old belief systems. And that really slows a lot of people down. So I help sort of clear the way and help frame a path forward for people and help them get where they say they want to go. It's very fulfilling.
Definitely.
Literally, it's transforming the quality of other people's lives.
Yeah, definitely. I can imagine like it must fulfill you every day to know you're actually helping someone get to the next stage of their lives, their careers. So definitely, I can imagine that being.
And just really having a life that matters every day. They're building a legacy. They're loving what they're doing
Yeah.
from morning till night, as opposed to sort of a long, slow crawl through enemy territory,
Mm.
which might be how their life prior.
Yeah, prior to meeting, definitely. Okay, that's amazing, Kelli. That's amazing. Okay, next question, then just jump into that for you then. So, could you tell us about being the struggles of being a young woman trying to establish a career both in technology and Hollywood at the time? Because I understand
Mm-hmm.
you grew up in Silicon Valley, and how did you actually overcome all those challenges?
Well, I didn't really pay attention to them, is the truth.
Okay.
I was just on a mission to achieve my vision. and I was just going to do it no matter what. I have a great deal of vision, tenacity, moxie, gumption, and I just plowed through. I mean, I just, some of it was luck and good timing, but I was quite tenacious and determined to get where I wanted to go. I didn't have to knock anybody down to do it. I didn't have to be aggressive or manipulative. I just connected dots for myself and wound up, having wanted to be a record producer from a young age, but couldn't get arrested in that role as a woman, 30 some years ago. So I wound up becoming a young A&R exec working out of the Capitol Records Tower in Hollywood instead for EMI. And from there, actually came back home to my hometown of Cupertino, where I live now in Silicon Valley, which is Apple's headquarters, and wound up going to Apple to launch their earliest focus on music and entertainment during my long career with that company. So I never really, other than that initial situation when I wasn't going to be able to be a female recording engineer or record producer. That's the only time that's ever really gotten in my way.
Okay.
Since then, I'm kind of blind to it. I just keep plowing forward.
To keep going forward, definitely. So it's just that tenacious attitude that got you over the line and just the goal to achieve your dreams, you would say.
Exactly.
Exactly. That's perfect. That's amazing. That's amazing. Bias and grab that type of personality as well, definitely. Okay, perfect. So next question there. So I understand from, your biography and just reading about you and your website and such, you had a close mentor relationship with the late, great Steve Jobs.
Indeed.
Yeah, exactly. Perfect. That was just so amazing to me when I read that. So I just wanted to find out, I'm sure everyone would love to find out watching this interview, what were some of the most memorable nuggets of advice he gave you?
Well, first of all, I want to tell you a very quick story about how that relationship came about, because it's a perfect segue from the last question. I was in high school in Cupertino. Apple's headquarters was brewing in Cupertino. And they were like the Wonka factory, the Willy Wonka factory, and in my hometown. And so when I was a junior in high school, my third year in high school, I belonged to a group called Future Business Leaders of America. Okay. And they gave us an assignment to go find a mentor that we really admired in industry in our area. And I chose Steve. Okay. And I basically just walked up to him one day in a local coffee shop. My mom and I would go to local coffee shops. He went to the same ones, sort of crunchy granola, vegetarian type places. And I just walked up to him very boldly, as I do, because that was my personality then and now. And I told him what I just told you. This was my assignment, and I had chosen him. And he saw something in me, I guess. And that began the basis of this mentor relationship that lasted pretty close to when he passed away.
Yeah, it's amazing. It's amazing.
And as far as, memorable nuggets, there are a lot of them over those years, as you can imagine. Some of them came through pretty clearly in his famous Stanford commencement speech before he passed away, famous 15-minute speech on YouTube, which everyone should watch.
Definitely, I'm going to check that out.
Where he said things like, honor your intuition, follow your heart. If you have a big vision, don't let anything stop you from achieving it. And those were certainly some of the things he shared with me. Mm-hmm. He also left me with some gifts around filtering what he called a bullshit meter. So when I meet people, I can very quickly assess whether they're real or they're coming from some kind of funny stance. Okay. They're putting on airs. I can tell whether people are being authentic with me or not, and whether I resonate with them or not very quickly based on those tools that he gave me, which are hard to explain. They're more esoteric, I guess you would say.
Yeah.
But, just going for it and never stop believing in myself, my vision, what I want to make happen, and just go make it happen. And that's basically a big piece that he gave me. Yeah,
that's amazing. Honestly, that's amazing. And Steve Jobs, of course, very true to his own advice there, because he revolutionized the whole world to this day. I'm pretty sure forever.
After being kicked out of his own company and then taking it back. Thank God.
Exactly. Thank God for that.
Because Apple would not exist today if Steve had not come back to take the reins.
Exactly.
It would not. It was on the ropes when I was still there.
Really? Okay.
1 quarter away from going out of business. Just 1 quarter away.
Well, it's meant to be his fate then. It was fate at that
Indeed. And I would say that during his absence to anybody who would care to listen, like Paul Revere. run through the halls saying, there's only one person that can save this company. They're like, you're out of your mind. He's running 2 other companies. He's never coming back. And that, of course, was Next in Pixar. Wow. But he had to come back. Mythology dictated that it was the hero's journey, and he had to come back.
Yeah, the prodigal son returned. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah,
definitely. That's amazing. That's amazing. Okay, and the next question for you there, Kelli. So just going on forward now, they're touching on Genie now as a platform.
Yes.
We wanted to know, as Genie kind of works as a connector as well, connecting all the different artists to just a new audience of people. And for our independent performers, how do you believe Genie can help performers promote their work?
Well, Genie offers many services that help artists connect with their audiences better, help them connect with each other, help them connect with cottage industries and different spokes on the wheel of the ecosystem, of the music industry. Mm-hmm. So they have all manner of resources and audience available to them. And it's just up to them to harness their own creativity and their own business savvy and learn some of those, embrace those opportunities and use those tools to really get exposure on the world stage and reach a bigger audience than they would otherwise on their own.
Exactly. That's
the power of community and the collective,
Exactly. Yeah, it's all about, that's really what it is here at Genie, giving power back to the people and just letting people come together and just be successful in their own right, rather than relying on the bigger labels. So definitely, yeah.
Indeed. And those Genie festivals that are put together pretty much quarterly, those are fantastic opportunities to be showcased in one of those curated festivals and being seen by people you would never imagine you'd reach as a young artist.
Exactly. Definitely. It's amazing. And finally there for you, Kelli, last one for you there. So how do you have any advice you could pass on to our independent artists here at Genie that you believe could help them drive forward to the next level in their careers?
Well, I think it's about educating themselves on the outlets, the media outlets, the tools, the resources, the festival opportunities, taking advantage of the Genie management team, which is very receptive to questions and requests from the community, very responsive. So if they're thinking of doing something they have a vision for doing something, they don't know how to make it happen, they just need to check in with the community at large and Genie's management team, who in fact will help them get connected to what they say they want to do. Definitely.
Yeah, that's an amazing piece of advice right there. And I hope everyone who's watching this is listening, because definitely your word is something that I have to take as gospel, because you've done it and you've achieved so much in your career. So I hope everyone listening, is taking that on as well.
Thank you, Jay. I appreciate your time with this.
That's no problem. I had to take this opportunity to speak to you, Kelli, because knowing someone who's been so connected, who's achieved so much in her career as well. I love interviewing people of your grandeur, of your status, should I say. So definitely, I really enjoyed this, Kelli. Thank you so much for your time.
Pleasure was mine, AJ. Have a great day.
Love you too now. You too.